I think you were about 19 when you first took up to international cricket, and a lot has changed over the years. What do you think of the current cricket scenario?
Well, I think it's in a good place. I'm not one of those guys, old individuals from the past are going to tell you that what's happening today is not good. I think we are all looking to advance in life. The changes, sometimes some of us are a little bit reluctant to adjust to these changes. I'm one of these guys just quite happy seeing what's happening here in the T20 tournaments around the world. I think India would have led the way where that is concerned. So the participation also of our Caribbean brothers, it's just magnificent. I think it's a great spectacle, yeah.
We see that the West Indian cricketers seem to enjoy their T20 cricket like no one else. Would you have liked to be around during the T20 scenario?
It would have been nice, but as I said, one's got to be playing the cards that you are dealt. It wasn't around then. And what I'm really happy about is to see the monetary success or successes that these players are gaining today. So which means that the game would have come from a lower level to some heights. And I'm very excited and happy that these guys are benefiting.
Now, Sir Viv Richards, along with so many accolades to your name, you've scored about 8,000 runs in just about 127 test matches that you played at that time. And all of it, mind you, without wearing a helmet. What was going on? What were you thinking?
Well, to be fair, you got to believe in what you're doing. And I don't know whether this did put fear up against the opposition that we were playing against at that time. But it felt uncomfortable when I tried it, putting the lid on. And also with a visor and all that grill stuff, it would impede my chewing, because I love to indulge with some gum. And it just wasn't comfortable for me. And I felt that when we look at maybe some of the more dangerous sports around the world, we would see people like Ayrton Senna. That's cruelly dangerous, and he lost his life in F1 in an accident. And I just felt that for me, the cricket game itself was my happy place. So I was confident enough that I would get by. And it's nice as well when you have faith, in the Almighty, who protected me, because you have some nasty accidents in the sport itself. And I was just fortunate that someone was looking after me.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say that all the deadly bowlers belong to the West Indian cricket team at that point of time.
Well, it's fair enough to say. There's some other guys around, the Lillies and the Thompson, who wasn't bad either.
Oh, yes.
The Bob Willises out of England, and Richard Hadley out of New Zealand. So it gave me an opportunity wanting to watch the ball a little bit more and to pay attention. And as I said, someone was basically in my corner looking after me, and I'm rather privileged to know that I'm still here, thank God, yeah.
You're a brave, brave man. But just going over some of the things from cricket in the good old days, there used to be this tradition. As soon as a cricket match gets over, all the audience members would just come barging inside the stadium. That doesn't happen anymore, but it definitely is a sight to see.
It is. It's rather a unique place, And
like people would take the stumps and go home.
Well, someone wants to take a souvenir. I can remember once in a final at Lord's, there was a guy who, after hitting the winning run, this guy came for my cap. And apparently, with the huge crowd that was obviously invading the field at the time, I didn't mind him taking my cap, but for some reason he caused me some discomfort by poking one finger in my eye.
Ouch.
So it was quite a spectacular sight to see me running through the crowd, trying to grab hold of this guy. And when he thought that he gotten away, up came his hand and just took it out of his hand. And he looked back with such amazement.
Right.
things like that happens, especially when you have invasion of cricket fields or sporting fields. Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, not only did you have to take care of the match, but as soon as the last ball is delivered, you have to think of the best way to scram, get out of here.
There because it was like a stampede.
Right.
You know, you see people coming from all directions, man, and it's trying to get to those little gates to get you upstairs as quickly as possible.
You're a man of many talents, singer, and I just wanted to get this clarified from the man himself about this, because this is stuff legends are made of, right? Greg Thomas, the English bowler, I believe once did bowl a few bouncers at you, and when you couldn't sight the ball, came up to you and said, "It's red, it's round, and it's about 5 ounces. Try and find it." And you whacked him for a sixer the very next delivery and said, "You know what it looks like, now go find it."
I love competing, and especially when you have an aggressive fast bowler.
Right.
You know, because I think I mentioned in one of my early interviews that fast bowlers, in my opinion, can be bullies. But England, for some reason at that time, never quite had someone who was extremely quick or fast. Right. And when they do find an individual, they sometimes elaborate a little bit about it, go over the top. And we were playing this match with Taunton, and I remember that night, the night before, I had a night out with Ian Botham. And we all know sometime of his heroics. He, sometimes I think we had a little bit too much to drink. And the next day I was feeling ill. I'm not in the best of mood. I'm thinking about not going to the match, but knowing Ian knew what we got indulged with, I wouldn't be able to have lived it down, not playing. So I played basically not seeing that day, went out to bat, and maybe that's why Mr. Thomas decided to reply that way, because the very first 4 balls that I faced, I never saw a thing. It just went, and Mr. Thomas, for some reason, felt that something wasn't quite good with Viv today. Right. So he came up the wicket and he offered an explanation. Well, he said, "Hey, Viv, man," he said, "it looks like you're out of sort today. Well, I'm going to tell you what color it is. It's red, it's round, and it's 5 and whatever ounces." Right. And if you are a competitor, that's the sort of stuff that that can sober you up, you know? Yeah. And all of a sudden, I was awake. And the next delivery that he bowled, I think it was the 5th delivery, thinking that because I would have missed the first 4, he's going to pitch it up a little bit further. And I can remember that day I just closed my eyes, swung through the line, and from the moment I heard the sound, I knew it was out of the ground.
You knew it was
I knew it, right? And it went into, anyone who knows the Taunton cricket ground, there's a little river that runs to the back of it. Right. And every now and again, guys would come and do some casual fishing. And there were 2 guys sitting in this little dinghy. And this ball landed straight in this dinghy. And I can remember the people on the stands were telling them, "Can we have the ball back?" And the guys stood there and they're looking up in amazement. And one guy, his reply was rather foul. And he said, "This is the first catch we have had all day." You know, and this is the first catch. So, wow, you can keep the ball then. And I can remember when the match resumed, all fast bowlers, you know, when you do get the better of them, for some reason they don't want to look you in the eye no more. He was walking back to his mark, back turn, and I just remember what he said earlier. And I walked up behind him and I said, "Hey, Greg, man." And he looked around and I said, "Seeing you know what color, shape, and size, why don't you go help them find it?" You know, so it was...
it was the greatest burn of all time.
No foul language, just rather mild. And that is why I think in that same match, I scored 133 balls.
Wow.
So I had the better of him then.
Fabulous.
You got to be careful if you're a fast bowler. Don't open your mouth too often.
I think that's a lesson well learned for all the current generation cricketers.
Right.
I think you answered most of the customary questions while you're here in India about Indian food, Indian women. What else are the customary questions that you stick to the food most of the time? These are questions that get asked often, right? No matter what interview you do. Hey, what do you think of Indian food? Like, have you had some chicken, some chicken tikka, and what do you think of Indian women?
I think they're stunning women. Right. Some of the most glamorous women on earth. And it's nice where I'm at, in the twilight zone of my life, just having a look. It is important, you know, and it's very impressive from where I'm at.
Sir Viv Richards, thank you so very much for spending time with us. Just before we let you go, however, I just wanted to play this little game with you. We used to do this quite often when we were kids and I was playing cricket for the Karnataka state cricket team. We used to indulge with so much of cricket that we used to try and imitate some of the bowlers. All right, so I'm just going to show you a couple of actions. Let's see whether you can face these bowlers and whether you can tell me which bowler, which bowler I'm imitating right now. All right, let's go here. Here's the first delivery. All right.
Ashwin.
No.
It is not?
Wait for it.
Oh my God. Ashwin, Ashwin, Ashwin.
I was going for Shane Warne. But,
no, Shane Warne. No.
I've been a little rusty, I guess. It's been long since I played.
I think you got to brush up on your act, you know.
Alright, let's go with the next one. Let's go with the next one here. This is another cricketing legend we all love here.
That's the same man we spoke about. Now you got it.
And?
Ashwin, Ashwin, Ashwin.
What? Come on, there are other cricketers other than Ashwin.
Come on, that's how Ashwin does it.
I think Pratik was. That's Kumble. Yeah, that's Kumble.
That's before my time.
Alright. I've got another cricketer here for you, and this is a left arm bowler. And I think that's how something like that. That's how he delivered.
And this is in the modern day?
I think about the 90s. Very popular in the 90s.
Adams.
Yeah, which Adams?
South Africa.
That? Yeah, that's Paul Adams.
Well done, man. You hit the nail on the head.
I think that's how he delivered the ball without falling over his face. But yeah, that was.
Hey, well done, man.
We got
one. But I tell you, those previous two, it's got to be Ashwin.
No, it wasn't Ashwin. I was going for someone else.
The superhero show, superhero show. Even when I fall, turn up the radio.